Welcome back to Making a Video Your Business. Today I'm joined by my friend Hannah Sang. Hannah, thanks so much for joining me.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
For those people who don't know you, could you give us a bit of background about who is Hannah Sang?
So I started off in recruitment down in Cambridge, where I started my career, and it's always either been in finance or IT. So they call them MSPs, managed service providers. So that's for companies that maybe don't have their internal IT teams already there, or they might have one person that's that dedicated IT person. They think, oh no, I don't want to be doing IT all my life, and that's not what they're expert in. So MSPs are there to help support people that perhaps don't have their own IT internal people, or maybe just has that one person that needs a bit more of a safety net. We outsource support and help those businesses get their IT on track and their cyber on track.
And where do you find yourself now? You've started your business.
Yes.
What does that business seek to do? What are you trying to help people with?
So, as I say, my background, 20 years in sales and recruitment, IT-wise, and I'm here to really raise the bar with sales and recruitment. What I want to do is help businesses drive sales, and I want to help them hire the best tech people, however that looks like, whatever that looks like.
We've had this with our business where you sort of get to that kind of, you have a good customer base, but you're now looking to try and drive forward. What do you think are the kind of challenges for business when they get there, and how do you help with that?
I think a lot of people are either ready to hire and they've got space for more head people and more head count, and that's what they want to do. They want to hire the best. But those people that aren't in that position and they're sort of teetering on the edge and they want to drive revenue and boost sales, but sometimes it's difficult to know where those sales are coming from.
Yeah.
What's the plan? What's the process? Is there a process, or are we all just going out like headless chickens trying to get leads and fall on these new sales and new contracts just by a bit of luck? You want to be proactive about it. You want to have a process. You want to have a plan. Everyone needs to know that plan. And whether that plan's for the next 30 days, 60 days, a year, 5 years, have those goals and things mapped out. But it's really being proactive, know who your target audience is. I mean, you know this, you've lived and breathed it for the past few years. Know who your target audience is, get a plan, and just be proactive, be bold, pick up the phone, don't hide behind LinkedIn, don't hide behind messages, and just have those chats and communications.
You say picking up the phone.
Yep.
Do you feel that is a skill that is being lost?
I think so. I think people are terrified of it. I must be like one, I don't know, not normally wired.
Yeah.
Because
I mean, I wouldn't say that.
You're nodding and agreeing. No,
I would not say that.
Because I like picking up the phone and talking to random strangers.
Yeah.
I don't mind that.
Yeah.
I quite like it. It's a good buzz. It's a good thrill.
What we do as a business, and conversely what you now do in your business, is we're providing a service. We're a service providing business, which allows us to help businesses do something that they might not otherwise be able to do, using our expertise to deliver that. And I think that's exciting and it's interesting. But yeah, I like talking to people, and also I don't fear the no.
That's it. You've got to handle rejections.
I sort of don't care. So I've done this right because I sent the email to say I'm leaving and sacked off employment. How did that feel?
Exciting, terrifying. You suddenly think, oh my gosh, what am I doing? I've got a husband, I've got kids, I've just bought a puppy, I've got a mortgage, I like holidays.
Yes.
I think, what have I done? I've done it for 20 years.
Yes.
I know that I can sell.
Yeah.
I know that I'm good at recruitment.
Yeah.
I know the IT space, and I know I can network and generate things, and I back myself.
Yeah.
I think it's the same thing as like having children. You never feel ready to have children or settle down. And I think it's the same thing with starting a new business.
Yeah.
The other side of 40. It's sort of now or never.
Yeah.
Why not? There's nothing. If I screw it up, I screw it up. I can change it. I can make things better. And like I say, you just got to have confidence and back yourself. There was this one gentleman, I won't say his name, but he was successful, and he's gone on to start his own business and do really well for himself too. And he said, Hannah, you just have to look after number one. which is a bit of a weird thing to think, because then you start toying with yourself and thinking, oh, that's a bit selfish.
Yeah.
You know, once you've got family and friends and things, I can't just look after one. It's number one. It's always looking after other people before you're number one. But I think by looking after number one and actually having confidence in yourself and being able to think, right, okay, well, I've got this for myself. I can do it for myself. And then that leads to other things being happy around you then, if you do look after yourself. So I think, looking after number one, because no one else is going to do it for you. Old bosses, previous bosses, as much as they want to do right by you, you know, they're not really looking out for you as much as perhaps they should be. It's taken me some time, but I think that's good advice.
I think that's good advice. How have you used video content in your previous roles, and how do you think you're going to use it in your new business?
Okay, so I'm a visual learner, have been forever. You know, if there's a PDF or a video to watch, I will watch the video. I will not watch the PDF. If I'm looking at houses, it's not the floor plan I look at, it's the video walkthrough. Even in my language, I remember doing this personality test, you know, which circle or what shade you are.
Yeah.
But I'm always saying, look, let's do this, and look. It's always visual. My brain is very visual. So in past jobs, we've had case study videos, which just bring to life people and everything rather than a PDF or a service sheet. I think there are especially in the IT world, it can get a bit dry. So having video and bringing it to life is just absolutely crucial, especially when there are so many other people doing it. You know, there are other IT support people, there are other recruitment agents out there, but what makes you different is you and your people, which is cliche, isn't it? And things with IT and recruitment, it's myself and Seek and Hire providing those services to them. It's an extension of their team. So not only do I have to be able to do the job properly and to do it well and provide the quality and value for money and all those tick things, you also are an extension of their brand and their reputation and their sort of values and core values and things that they have. So it's important that you reflect them in the sale. I don't want to be hired by someone and then, you know, go off and sell it in a completely different way that doesn't match their company or their way of selling. I think video allows that bit of a walk into the shop and a look around and a conversation, so that they can then have confidence to say, do you know what? Yeah, you know, Hannah would be able to reflect our brand. Seek and Hire would be able to have faith that they'd be able to recruit the right kind of person for us, not just hit the brief on the CV, but in terms of what kind of person they are. And I think the video and visuals will represent and really sell that story clearly.
How do you think that's now being leveraged? I
think at the time where businesses budgets are tight, you're having to differentiate yourself as a recruitment consultant or a sales agency to say, actually, we are better than that. We don't just want to bill you a big fee for just an intro. And I think video sets them aside from that, because then they don't just fall into that same lump, that same stereotype of a recruitment salesperson, the cowboy sales, or just out there in for a fee. Yeah. It provides a bit of warmth, doesn't it?
Do you think it is become sort of normal for video content to be part of that transactional process for recruitment?
I think it's maybe not. Maybe it's not getting...
Do you think there's actually mileage in that?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's starting to trickle. I think because it's fast-paced, people kind of want to say, right, you've got a job, let's match it, do it quickly, off you go, on to the next one. But actually, I think those people that take a bit of time to build that brand, to get that communication, that message out, will do better in the long run.
I think for me, certainly now as we move forward in our business, I think we're going to start adding into our recruitment process almost like a bit like, you know, in the 80s and 90s when you used to like have dating agencies and you used to send a tape in.
Oh gosh,
I think that we might start doing that, almost hark back to that.
Yeah.
Obviously they do video interviews now, but I don't know whether part of that kind of CV should be like be able to actually talk to somebody.
Well, when I recruit, it's CV is sort of the last stage. It shouldn't be really, should it? Really? No. But it's always, it's a Teams, it's go for a coffee, let's have a chat. And by the way, do you have an up-to-date CV you can send me? Yeah. And do the formalities afterwards. Yeah. So it's always the face, it's always the person to talk them through it.
What do you think are your top 3 tips for business people when they're looking at visuals?
Top tips. I'm not sure how good we are, but energy.
Yeah.
It needs to bring energy.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of, I don't know if it's just me, but I've got a short attention span. So if it doesn't bring the energy, if it doesn't bring the life, if it doesn't capture my attention straight away, and sometimes the subject can be quite dry, but if it's delivered in a good way, you're engaged, aren't you?
Yeah.
So something that's got energy and life about it. I think also that you don't need to have the full. I know this setup's absolutely brilliant, but sometimes you don't need that.
I don't think you do all the time.
You've got your iPhones.
Yeah.
You can make it quite simple,
quick,
but it looks still effective.
Yeah.
So
good.
Just getting out there and
just
doing
it. JDI.
And also just be concise, I think.
I would like you to recommend
go.
to our listeners an interesting box set, something that you've been watching maybe that you think people might get some value from.
What, as in anything at
you
all?
like, yeah.
Do you know what? I've been watching Silo on Apple.
I've not seen it.
Have you not seen it? It's mega.
Yeah.
It's really good.
What's it about?
It's about these people, this population where something disastrous has happened in the world, where now you all have to live in these underground bunkers, a massive silo, and they've lived there for hundreds of years. No one knows what happens before the silo or not, but then weirdly they've got this window, right, that everyone in the canteen sits and looks at, and outside the window is the view outside. They don't know if it's death outside. They don't know if they can breathe outside. They don't know if the screen's a lie or if it's real, but they send people out to clean the window, and everyone who goes out dies. They get to a tree and they fall and then they die.
I'm watching that.
It's absolutely unreal.
Silo.
My husband's read the books, so he knows everything annoyingly. He's like, I know what happens. I know what happens.
What is your favourite movie of all time and why?
Oh, favourite movie of all time.
Yeah.
It has to be Top Gun.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean,
why really?
No. Why is Top Gun your favourite movie?
Because it's just epic. It's got fast planes, it's got action.
Yeah.
It's just non-stop like whoop moments, cracking soundtrack. I mean, you just can't get bored of it.
Hannah, thanks so much.
You're very welcome. Thank you for
coming
having
along and
me.
being on the podcast. I wish your business every success.
Thank you.
And I hope that you go from strength to strength and you're in business in 10 years' time.
Brilliant. Thanks, Chris.